Hey everyone, welcome to the Mind of Ro page. Today I'm going to be talking about Set and Geb. So for the next 7 weeks, I'm actually going to be focused on how to work with the Netaru to help you balance your energy centers, or in other words, your chakras. So this week I am going to be focused on my root chakra. I'm not only going to be working with the Netaru, I'm going to be working with the Orishas as well. And tomorrow I'm going to make a video on how to work with the Orishas to help balance your root chakra. But today I'm going to talk about a couple Netarus that you should work with to help you balance your root chakra. Now, when I say root chakra, I mean your first energy center, which is where your stability, grounding, and your sense of security and your sense of safety comes from. So what you're looking at right here is actually Set's bowl. So Set is an Egyptian, or in other words, Kemetic god, which the Cometians actually called Neter. So he's the Neter of war, chaos, and storms. Set is associated with the colors black and red, and he enjoys food that is lettuce. Or I actually found out recently that he likes candy, because supposedly if you read about the story of Set, Set could be pretty greedy and he likes a lot of food. But remember, because he is a hot spirit, do not just give him whatever. You want to make sure he is being given what he is approving for you to give to him. So you can never go wrong with lettuce. If you're very unsure on what to offer Set, you can never go wrong with lettuce. If you want to give him anything else, if you have a gut feeling that maybe he might want something else from you, make sure you divine on it. And I will actually tag a video with this video on how to divine and ask questions to the other side, basically how to speak to spirits. And so some advice before you make some offers to any of the Netaru is it's best to actually make an offer to one of the crossroad deities. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes you can make an offer and they don't realize you're making an offer because maybe you're not spiritually connected enough. So the best way to make sure that whoever you're offering to gets the message and gets the offer, you ask a crossroad deity to open that doorway for you. And the best crossroad deity to offer or to speak to or make offers to help open that doorway would actually be Anpu, or in other words, Anubis. And I will tag another video that I made earlier, I think it was last week, about how to communicate with Anubis and what he likes and stuff like that. So I'll actually add this to this video as soon as I am done making this video. So when I say he's associated with the colors black and red and he likes lettuce and candy, what you would do is actually offer him the food that you want to offer him on either a red or and black plate with a candle that's black or red. Because you want to show him respect, and that's what they like. You want to give them what they like. So I know some people are probably asking, well, why would I give an offer to Set if he's associated with war, chaos, and storms? Because we have war, chaos, and storms that work through us and is within our life. So this Set is actually a good being to work with is if you want to stop war, chaos, and storms within your life. So now we need to be very reasonable. You cannot ask Set to stop the war on the planet. That would take a lot more collective consciousness other than your own. So you got to be reasonable and know when you serve Set that you are only asking this for you and yourself only, because everybody has free will. So you cannot control the whole planet's free will. So I know some people are probably thinking, well, why don't we just make offers to Set and stop the war on the planet? Well, it takes more than one person to do that. But that's another subject. So let's just talk about you and you only for now. If you want to make offers to Set, the reason why you would is because you have a lot of chaos and storms in your life. I made another video recently about Sobek and how you can make offers to Sobek to stop storms and chaos in your life. Set is another being to make offers to. Here are some ideas of how you know Set is around. You basically have a lot of bullshit happening in your life and you cannot stop it. Now, how do you know someone has a whole lot of Set in their life? People who are completely chaotic. People who, and I mean chaotic, I mean murderers, rapers, pedophiles, crazy people. The last people you want to exist on this planet are people who have a whole lot of Set energy. So, he's the type of being you want to contact, or not really contact, but to give offers to calm down or keep away any of that energy away from you. So if you do not want a whole lot of war energy coming towards you, and if you do not want a lot of chaos coming towards you, or storms coming towards you, as in a lot of hiccups in life, like you keep losing jobs, you keep crashing cars. I know I'm about to get really serious, but this is a deity that is in control of these moments. For example, getting raped, getting stabbed, major issues like that, or people who have this energy that hold that energy within them around you. People who have, I know a lot of women know what I mean when I say that some men have rape energy. That type of energy, or people who are very, very abusive, want to put their hands on you, want to cuss you out because they're just chaotic, crazy people. You would want to feed Set to keep those people away from you. That's why you would like to feed Set. Now, I'm going to give you a warning. You do not want to summon Set. You can feed him without summoning them. So without summoning spirits. So this is the difference. Summoning a spirit is when you make an offer and you're going to actually ask them to come to you so you could hear them speak to you and you could feel their energy. You do not want to do that with Set. I know if any of you are watching a lot of my videos, you'll notice I make a lot of videos on how to summon spirits. Set is not a being you want to summon unless you want chaos in your life. You do not want that energy coming to you. Now, if you feed Set, you do not have to summon his energy. You could basically give him food and he could take it within the ether, and you're basically going to say, I'm going to give you an example because this, as you notice right here, I have some candy and I have some lettuce that I offered Set. So what I said was, Set, can you please keep chaos or roadblocks out of my life, because I have a lot of stuff that I'm trying to do within my life and a lot of dreams and goals that I want to accomplish, and I don't want any hiccups and I don't want any chaos or any of that disturbing energy or static getting in my way. So I sweetened him up by offering him some candy, and to freshen up that roadway for me, I gave him some fresh lettuce. That's what I did. I basically told him what I wanted this for, what I wanted to make this offer for a trade for, and then I lit the candle for him, and then I basically just left it alone. I didn't ask him to come forward and talk to me or anything like that, because I don't want his energy coming towards me. I just want to be able to feed him, satisfy him, make him happy, and I do him a favor. He basically does the same thing back. And the reason why I know I give the right offer is because I divined, and like I said earlier in a lot of my videos, if you want this kind of work to work way better for you, you want to make sure you divine first. And like I said earlier, I will tag a video on how to divine and how to find out how to communicate with them on the other side to find out exactly what would be the best offer. And make sure when you do ask questions in regards to what offers to give, you're only listing the type of offers that I'm telling you in these videos. You don't want to ask, does he want this and this and this and this, and every offer that exists in the planet. There's only certain offers, specific offers that specific deities want. That's why I share a lot of these videos and what's the list of things they want. Just because Set happened to want lettuce and candy from me does not mean he's going to want that from you. Most likely he will want lettuce, but the amount of lettuce that you give him might be different, for example. So this is why it's good to divine, because you want to make sure you're giving him an accurate amount of offer and the accurate substance for the offer that he's asking from you, and that's why you want to divine. That's why you want to divine on it prior to it, and that's why a lot of times people make offers and they're not really getting what they want out of it because they're not divining first. So my advice is to make sure you divine first before you make offers. So my personal experience that I've had with Set is because I personally work on my Ori. When I say I work on my Ori, I mean that I work on my head. So therefore, I do not allow a lot of that chaotic energy within my life anymore. I used to have a lot of chaos in my life, but I do not anymore. And because I don't allow that in my life, when Set comes and speaks to me, he doesn't come to me in a very chaotic way. So my personal experience with Set, because I do have a pyramid, and this is what I'm inside of right now. I made a video on how to make one of these meditation pyramids, and I have the tree of life of the Netaru within my pyramid. And towards the end of me adding a lot of the Netaru in my pyramid, I did not have Set in my pyramid, and the reason why I didn't was something in me was a little nervous, and I don't know if I want to add Set, what's going to happen. So he showed up in my dreams. But he didn't show up crazy like. He actually showed up as a half deer, half Set type of creature in my dreams, and what he was doing was eating a bunch of lettuce out of my yard in my dream, and herbs and stuff. And then when I come to find out, after I woke up, I asked a priest about it, and he told me that Set actually likes lettuce. So it was Set telling me he wanted to be added into my pyramid, and he wants to have lettuce. So I actually ended up adding him to my pyramid. Set is a Neteru of the Tree of Life. If you look up the Tree of Life of the Neteru or their Egyptian gods, Set is part of that Tree of Life, and that's why I have him in my pyramid, because he is part of the balance not only within the universe, but within ourselves as well. Here's some little warnings with Set. If you have a very chaotic life, he could haunt you in your dreams, and he'll do everything he can to make sure you're learning your lesson and you're getting the message across. So if you know anybody, if you know anybody who has a lot of chaotic stuff going on in their life, if you end up summoning or trying to call on Set and feed him and you're not listening, he will feed off your energy, and he is known to do some pretty violent things within your dreams. I've heard that he came to a man's dreams before and started raping him. He is not exactly the most peaceful Neteru to contact. So this is a warning that if you are a chaotic person already and you're not listening to when the gods are trying to tell you something, and you try to contact Set, but your life is chaotic and you're not serving him correctly and you're not listening, he will make sure to let you know. He will come to you in your dreams, and he will do some violent things to you. I'm just letting you know this is a warning. So if you do end up giving any offers to Set, please make sure, if your life is chaotic, to listen to him very carefully and do what he asks you, or he's going to haunt your dreams and give you a really hard time. Okay? Or just make sure your life is very balanced, and make sure your mind and your energy is I'm not saying you can't be perfect, obviously, but to make sure you're not, having a completely chaotic life before you try to talk to Set. So if you want to get rid of chaos in your life and you're too scared to contact Set, I do not blame you. I made another video on Sobek. Sobek is another deity that you could serve and offer food to help stop chaos in your life. But just to let you know, Set has a reason to be in this universe. He is associated with the concept of chaos. So when I meditated on the concept of Set in my pyramid, this is what I learned. I'm going to break it down. It's going to sound pretty deep. So if you read about the Neterus, there's a story about Ra and Set. Set helps Ra exist. I'm not going to say exactly the details of the story. I'm just kind of saying the basics right now. And what this actually means is, so I don't know if any of you know who Ra is, but if you do not know, I'm sure that majority of people do. Ra actually represents the concept of the sun and the light, or as in the Big Bang, what you call the Big Bang Theory, or in the beginning there was light, and that's how the universe began and whatnot. So in the story, in the Egyptian or Kemetic story, Set helps Ra exist. So I didn't understand that when somebody told me this a long time ago. And so I meditated on it because I wanted to understand the real concept behind Set and how Set helped Ra exist. So I'm going to break it down in the concept of vibration. So Ra is considered light and the beginning of existence, which is actually vibrations. So let me break it down to you really quick. So let's say Ra came into existence as a vibration. Let's say sound is a vibration, basically what that is. So this is Ra. Boom, now there's light, now there's vibration. As you notice, listen to the sound and how it fades away. If you hit the bowl only one time, it'll eventually fade away and cease to exist. Set is the being that keeps hitting the bowl so Ra can keep existing. So we can keep existing so we don't go back to what the Commissions call noon, just a plate that I have for noon, which is basically nothingness. This is why we need to understand and how to accept and respect the concept of Set, because the whole entire universe is made of chaos and order. And without chaos, there is no order. And without any order, there is no chaos. Therefore, this is why we need to respect the concept of Set. There's a lot of chaos going on in this planet right now, but the reason why there's a lot of chaos going on the planet right now is because eventually it's going to turn into order. And I know that's really hard for a lot of people to understand and wrap around their head, but remember that what is chaos for the fly is normal for the spider. And this is a really, really hard concept to accept. But understand, without the repeatedness of hitting the bowl and the sound, we will cease to exist. And that's the best way I could describe the concept of Set and how he helped Ra stay in existence and why we have chaos now within our life. There needs to be friction to create strength and to create growth, or we will not be here. And this is the concept of Set, and this is why the ancient Cometians worship Set, why they bow down, and why they learn to respect Set. Now, there's a lot of New Age spiritualists out here saying, oh, Set's the devil and he's evil and blah, 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 blah. Stop it. Because the more you disrespect a being, the more they will cause chaos into your life. So this is why we all need to understand, if we want to claim to be Kemetic, if we want to be in touch with our roots, and we want to have a lot of respect for the ancient Egyptian or ancient Kemetic or ancient ancestors' ways, we need to learn how to respect all aspects of the universe and all aspects of nature, and Set is part of that. Set should not end, because if Set ceases to exist, so will we. Therefore, we need to learn how to respect Set and show appreciation for his existence. And the more we show appreciation for Set's existence and the existence of chaos, we learn to accept our own life and our own chaos ourselves. And it's actually not as stressful when we see it from a much higher perspective, a universal perspective. So moving on, those are some basics on Set. I'm actually going to move on to the concept of Geb. Now, before I move on to Geb, though, the reason why Set is a good being to work with for our roots and why he is the first one I brought up is because you cannot grow as a person until you get rid of your chaos. You could fix everything you have in your life and try to balance your heart and everything, but if there's a bunch of chaos in your life, you're basically wasting your time. So this is why you need to serve Set or Sobek, like another video I made, before you work in a lot of other energy centers or make a lot of offers to Neteru, because what's the point of feeding peace if you're still allowing chaos in your life? This is why I added Set, and also because Set actually represents the desert and the dry dirt after there hasn't been any sun in the desert for a very long time. You'll see the dirt kind of crackle and stuff. That is the concept of Set, and also his name's Set because he represents the sun setting, as in the sun is going away, while Ra represents the sun coming back up and rising. Therefore, this is why we need to respect the concept of Set, because without a Set, there is no Ra, or there is no rising. So, that being said, let's move on to Geb. I have Geb over here. So, Geb is the god or the Kemetic deity or Kemetic neter of earth, and he is the physical support of the world. His colors is brown and green, so basically anything that you would associate with earthy colors, as are the actually colors that would represent Geb. Foods that he likes is very earthy foods, so like a brown. As you see, I have a brown egg there for him. I think he will accept white eggs, but you would have to divine and ask him. He would prefer brown, so what I usually do is I always give him a brown egg. Beans, rice, preferably brown rice. He will accept white rice, but you would have to, like I said before, you need to divine on these kind of things. Yams. He does like rum because he's a earthly deity. A lot of deities that are close to our realm or close to the third, second, or fourth dimension, some of them even the fifth, will usually like a lot of cigars and rum. So because Geb is pretty much in the same dimension as us, if not obviously higher too, He actually does like rum being offered to him, and he likes cigars as well, because cigars is obviously, cigar is made out of the earth. It's made out of tobacco. It's made out of trees, because that's what the wrap is made out of. That's why he actually really likes cigars. And duck. So why would you give any offers to Geb? Because he is associated with the physical concept of life, as in the world that we live in now, and the ability to be able to utilize what we have available to us and be able to accept our physical purpose and our physical reason why we're here. He is actually a being you would like to speak to or give offers to help you utilize what is available to you. What I mean by that is there's a lot of things that we could have that are being offered to us in this physical world, and we don't see it because maybe we're distracted, maybe we're avoiding our higher voice, maybe we're just not paying attention, and maybe there's some kind of subconscious blockage within ourselves that we're saying we don't deserve it, so we block it out. Geb is the being you want to give an offer to, so you stop doing those type of things, so you could be more not only open-eyed and notice what's being offered to you, but also be open-hearted, as in being able to have the ability to allow it within your life instead of pushing it away or resisting it. For examples would be like programs that could be offered to you, opportunities, jobs, basically doors being open to you in the physical world. People could be trying to give you things, and something that's really common in our life is a lot of us have been heartbroken so many times that we tend to shut the door when people try to give us things. We tend to like to give a lot of love, but we're not able to allow people to give back to us. So Geb will actually help you be able to open that doorway, or he'll help you be able to notice when things are being handed to you and help you have the security to be able to accept it and allow it within your life. And that's what Geb is good for. So how do you know Geb is around? This is a really hard one to answer. I try to tell in every single one of my videos on how you could tell whenever a Risha or any kind of spirit or a Neteru is around. Because Geb is very associated with the planet Earth, his signs of him being around could be really hard, because obviously you're going to see Earth stuff everywhere because we're on Earth. What I've noticed personally for me, so this is a feather because he's actually associated with the goose. If you look at pictures of Geb, you're going to notice he's going to have a goose on his head. So this is actually a goose feather. For the longest time, I was looking for a goose feather. And it's weird because I do live in Washington State. There's a lot of geese over here, but for some reason, when I was looking for a goose feather, I cannot find it at all. But as soon as Geb came around, I started having dreams about him, images of him, and I went to the park, boom. Around the same time I was getting images and dreams about him, all of a sudden there was a freaking feather right in front of me on the ground. And it was a huge one. It's a pretty nice sized feather right here. And I felt like it was like, oh, Geb gave it to me. Thank you, Geb. It was like a gift to me. So actually, Geb could be associated with beings, like images of beings that are like half man, half rock. So if you happen to run into a lot of weird pictures like that, if you've already done a lot of work with Geb, and usually you might not notice if you're not working with Geb, but if you work with Geb and then let's say you don't work with him for about 6 months, and then all of a sudden you notice things like goose feathers around you, or gooses coming up to you really close, or you'd notice a lot of images or paintings or people's shirts with like a half rock, half man image, then you know Geb's trying to communicate with you. Geb could be a little hard to see if he's communicating or not. Those are just little signs. Number one thing that any Neteru is going to do to get a hold of you is basically come to you in your dreams as any of the symbols that they're already associated with already in regards to their artwork and the hieroglyphics and whatnot. My personal experience with Geb is, so I don't like to bring it up, but I'm going to bring up the whole COVID thing going on right now. I don't like the mask thing. I don't like wearing it. Not to be rude, and I'm trying to make anybody sick or anything, but because I can't breathe in it, and it bothers me a lot. So this is what Geb told me to do, to utilize my physical programs or my physical opportunities. Basically, when I meditate on Geb, and it's funny because I wasn't even thinking about it at the time. He just brought it up out of the blue. And basically, this is something that I learned is, well, if I don't want to wear a mask, I could basically go to the doctor's office and be like, hey, I need a breathalyzer because I have asthma. And by the way, can you give me a note to say that I don't have to wear a mask? That's an example of the type of stuff that Geb will do to teach you to utilize within your life in the physical realm, to take advantage of what you could have in this physical life that's going on around you that a lot of times we don't really notice that we could have until somebody tells you or a being like Geb tells you. I thought that's the only thing I could think about. So here's Anpu sitting right here. What I did was before I made any offers to Set and before I made any offers to Geb, I made sure that I gave an offer to Anpu. I gave him some licorice. You can see some licorice sitting right here in his bowl. Obviously, most of you do not have these altars in your home. You would do is you're going to go to the crossroads and you would offer Anpu either garlic, onions, or black licorice to say, hey, I want to make an offer to so-and-so. Can you make sure this netter gets this offer? Can you please open the doorway of communication for me? Make these offers at the crossroads. You just leave it there. Call Anpu's name, show him respect and stuff like that. That's the best way to make sure that door opens for you. It's actually better to do that before you make any offers to any of the Neteru. That way you know for sure that they're going to get that offer, and a lot of that energy you're asking for, you will receive. So if you have any questions in regards to any more of the Neteru, go ahead and shoot me a message if you want me to make a video on it. So for the next 7 weeks, every single week, I'm going to make a video on which Neter to work with for each chakra. Next week, I'm going to be talking about our sacral chakra. So I'm going to be talking about making offers to Sobek in regards to your emotional center, and Heteru, who's also known as Hathor, next week. So look out for that video. And I'm also going to make a video tomorrow on Shango, because he is not a Neteru, he is an Orisha, to help you be more secure and confident in your life. So look out for the video tomorrow. And I hope everybody is having a secure, grounded, and safe day. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Mind of Ro. I'm going to share a link with this video. I also have Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that fun stuff. Come find me at Mind of Ro. I hope everybody has a wonderful, safe night. Hotep.